Welcome back, everyone. Long time no see. Now we are here for after church tea time, and we are going to discuss today's message. Choose eternity, let go of death. Really looking forward to this one. So feel free to participate in the comments. And I would like to open the floor and see what you guys received from today's sermon by Abir.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Laurencio.
I'm Alexandra. And we really enjoyed today's sermon. We can't wait to talk about this topic and go deeper with it. Hopefully with all of you in the comments as well, join in, as Fabian said, we're having a good time with this tea time.
Mm-hmm.
I am Liana, and this is one of my favorite topics. So, I really like to talk about this too. To start off, the first thing that really popped up in the sermon that I really liked was that Abir talks about like crematories and when people die and grieving, that's actually a choice of separation, and that all these feelings are not actually needed. This reminded me of when my own family died, and I didn't really cry that much or grieve that much as others around me, and something felt being normal about it somehow. And I feel this is kind of an answer to that, and very relieving. So.
It's really great to have like a different perspective of the physical act of death, so to say. I think that the main misconception that I have experienced with death and looking at death is that the misconception was that death meant the end of all of my existence. Like this moment in time will come when I will just fizzle out and there would be no me anymore, or no this person that was in my life and now suddenly they're not in my life and they're gone forever. And I think that was the aspect of the illusion of that made it be kind of like so painful for people to kind of experience, either through loved one passing away or thinking about it within yourself and processing, oh, well, but I'm going to die one day, well, how's that going to be? How am I mentally preparing for that? So to say, the moment then I'm having a life right now, and then suddenly everything is going to be over. And that's the misalignment, because if we choose to see ourselves in divine truth as eternal beings, that will be something normal, kind of how Abir said in the sermon, like, brushing your teeth and changing your clothes. It would be just a simple transition. And this is something that I loved when Jeff and Shalia talk about death. They always talk about it as a transition and a transformation time for a person as a soul. And I really can connect with this feeling of, I relate with what Liane said about having loved ones or family pass away. And at first I was like, the first time that it happened, I wasn't in these teachings, so I didn't fully understand, but there was this ghostly things happening, right? So there was this kind of vibe that everybody in the family was having, like, oh, the person passed away, but they didn't pass away actually. They're still here, or they're still not here. They're transitioning, but they're not transitioning. They're still haunting there was a lot of things, happening around like the topic of death, that I didn't understand. It was also a bit taboo. People were not talking about it. So I really love that we're kind of allowing ourselves to get educated on death and what it actually means when either us or someone goes through this
Experience.
just transformation. And it's just that it's a transformation. And after we have become like unionists and came into the teachings of union, I remember I had my grandpa passed away, and I was able to kind of just connect with him, like in my heart, and just have that closure moment that, yeah, everything is okay. I'm just going about my merry way, and I still love you. And this is it, basically, right? And it wasn't as, dramatic or as painful as
It's portrayed.
it is portrayed. It can be, I understand, when it happens suddenly or it's unexpected, of course, like it can cause a lot of grief, and you need to kind of process your feelings and your experience. I needed to process my feelings and my experience. But what helped me as a unionist just connect deeper here is that there is no actual end here. Like I can still connect with that person and have a relationship with that person if it is appropriate for us, because the person is transitioning into the astral realm where they have to review their life and do things, for their own ascension. And it's a matter of, are you okay with kind of like asking, are you okay to have like a conversation right now, keep being friends, keep being connected, or you need to do your own thing? And this is just kind of us parting ways for the moment until you figure your things out. And it's, I would love to see this like as just a normal part of a relationship where we can have like a conversations like two souls and decide. It's like, I don't know, I'm friends with Fabian, but Fabian suddenly decides that, and we meet each Sunday and we talk about, the after church tea time, after the after church tea.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen, but I'm saying if us and Fabian would have this kind of agreement, right, that we see each other and we talk about something, but suddenly Fabian has something else come up in his schedule that occupies his time, we would talk about it and figure it out and see what's the best. Either we move it, either we end it, whatever is best for the relationship. And I feel like when we choose to see that as just this, as something that's a change in the relationship, something that happens, and when we have like a more conscious awareness of that, then it can be like easy for everybody, right? Easier for everybody.
But it had a lot to say.
Yeah, it's a good topic.
Yeah, I agree. And in some cultures, I think if you die, then, it's being celebrated even. And we experience a lot of grief usually, right? And it's this thing that you don't like to talk about or address necessarily, but it's safe to look there and to embrace it, that I am here, I have a certain time on earth, or I master immortality, but most likely we have a certain time span here on earth, and yeah, we already know that it will be time to shed the body and to move on, right? And that's okay. We have many bodies, right? So it's just a change of perspective, really.
Yeah, when I think of it, I think of moving houses, like you move to another place or like a completely, I think of reincarnation and as you go to a completely different life. And when you move out, then you keep the things that are important to you and that are love to you, and you throw things away. that don't matter anymore. And yeah, for me, this is really a good practice. I do a lot like, oh, do I want to have this for eternity or not? If I feel into something, and yeah, that's very helpful. Do I want this in my next life too? Or an Esto realm, and yeah, keep going deeper with that. And yeah, there's a really big change of perspective than this time frame. Oh, I live this long and I have to accomplish these things all in a short time, and I'm happy for this short time, and I have this for a short time, and then that's it. But yeah, just building your life forever is really wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's great. And Abir also touched upon this in the sermon about, kind of rushing or like feeling pressured, I guess, like I think like that's what I got from it, that, when you act from this space of like, oh, my life is going to end and I have to act fast, I have to leave this thing or do this thing and this project, to have all of these things going on. You're kind of acting from that place of like misalignment and death. And while we do live in a timeline, and we have this 3D reality that we live in, it's when you choose to connect with that life feeling and that eternity feeling, and let go of that pressuring and that rationing and that feeling of end, then you are able, kind of how Leanne said, to build your projects and your life in a very sustainable way. And it's going to actually be faster than trying to rush or force yourself into things. And I think this is the trick of really choosing life and choosing eternity over death, is that we might think that, oh, because we are eternal beings, I know, like I had to hear through this, oh, we are eternal beings, so it doesn't matter if I fulfill this commitment in 1 week or 1 year, right? When I could do both, right? I'm an eternal being. But that wouldn't really actually be honoring life if I would postpone something just because I am eternal. It would actually be contributing to the energy of stagnation, which is actually death, right?
Mhm.
So it's interesting to kind of view this, that, okay, you don't need to rush, but life is alive, life is moving and ever growing. So it will keep you in a place where you're in a constant state of movement and doing an action. Like there's no how to say, downtime. There will be like rest, of course, but no actual downtime or
Disconnection.
retirement. Yeah, disconnection as well.
Yeah, it's a constant action, I guess, of living. And living, yeah, incorporates the last thing, as you said, incorporates all of these things. But I feel here is just about seeing that, like in life, what does that mean? It means to be alive, to actually do stuff, not to take a break from life, not to resting is not taking a break from life.
Yeah.
Because taking a break from life means, you choose that momentarily, and that's not something that you would want. And like, from what you shared, I feel like it's about really seeing that how you want to go on this journey. Do you want to wait it out, which will feel bad, or do you want to have what you desire now and just pursue it right now and just manifest it right now? And that's the same with the Twin journey, if you like to.
Yeah, and as Abir said, is that you are in that space where you realize that you find that thing that you want to do after you die as well, that you would like to do for eternity. And those are really the juicy things for you, where you can really be in that alive state of doing and being it's going to be just a joyful adventure, I feel.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like if you imagine your eternal life and keep doing these things, I feel that you can think much bigger too, like in a much bigger way. Because and in another way, you have to, yeah, that feels very limited. So your imagination is like very limited to or small, and yeah, with this eternal life, I feel like you can expand as much as you want, because yeah, there is no end anyway, and that is very freeing too.
Yeah, and I feel like you're more, sorry, I feel like you're more inclined to do like smart decision in life, really. Because if you look at like, oh, I have 90 years to live, let's say, and what it would be if I think from that space, what would be the smarter decision? Well, I could just like party and enjoy these 90 years of my life. And looking at those people who deal with their traumas and healing and stay and feel their feelings all the time, they look stupid, right? Because they waste all of this time on healing for what? Like you just have this amount of time, get on, live life, be happy, right? But if you look from an eternal perspective, right, investing in healing through your, traumas and feeling your feelings and getting yourself kind of sorted out would be the smart decision in the long run, because you see that these feelings or these things that you might be avoiding, they're actually great energy leaks that take away from your eternal experience. If you look at it as a kind of like in a macro level. So yeah, just wanted to drop that in.
There's a lot more time and relaxation then, right? Because yeah, you have time. It's not like YOLO, you only live once. No, it's just what do I really feel good about? How would I like to live life when I am eternal? Probably not throw my garbage in the river next to me. So a lot of responsibility returns when I live from an eternal point of view, right? And a lot of problems are going to be resolved when we live from that place. And it's not something that needs to happen later. It's something that begins today or now. Entering eternity by being in peace, by being present, right? And then good stuff arises from that, fun stuff. Oh, I really feel like chatting a bit. So let's chat.
By the way, was that a contemplation space that you gave us there to contemplate a bit about eternity?
I had to contemplate myself.
So,
Good.
well, one of the things, I guess, maybe asking you guys here, what is the thing that you feel like you want to do for eternity? Or at least are you aware as right now?
From what you have explored so far, just saying, like I think being students of the teachings for a while and studying life purpose class, you have some awareness to it already.
And maybe we can share first
something
from us, what we feel like that would be.
So
what it is, Alexandra?
I mean, and I think like for us, it's pretty clear. It's we love to like make video games, and that deeper is like a way to like share God and share joy and bring fun to people, like bring like an environment, a healthy and divine environment where people can have fun through video games. So that's what we're doing in Divine Gaming, and that's what we have always desired in our heart to cultivate and to experience for ourselves as well. It's we've been part of gaming communities and we've seen how those are, and we wanted something different. We wanted to merge these two areas that we really love and care.
Two worlds.
Yeah, these two worlds that we really love and care about, which is gaming and spirituality, and the passion for love and the passion for God and the love for God. It was not really separate from us in the very beginning, and we now have an avenue with Unionism to do it, and we're very grateful for it.
Mhm. So now I invite you guys to share this.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for some time too. And for me, it's always like create art, mainly for connecting with inner child and imagination, and inner worlds, expressing that. And also really enjoy stories and play and all these theater and all these cultural things, and just sharing love and connecting with people. Just all these things I like, just keep doing it. So.
A party is what is coming up for me, like a party. Have a party,
I mean, is that what you want to? Is that what you're made to do for eternity?
Yes.
Would you like to go a bit?
Yeah, I mean, this is really what I have so far, is just to party and to feel good and to celebrate with people together. And maybe there's music involved. I am still exploring that. Dance, like a dance party, but peaceful.
So what is the thing that you like in that you want to create? What's your thing? For us, it's with video game, creating this experience. With what you share, it's creating art. What is that you want to create? What is that God wants to create?
Dance, joy. I'm not very clear on the ideas, but it's a good feeling, like passion.
That's good. Well, I think with this sermon and with this, topic that Brienne brought up, not Brienne. Why did Brienne? You're coming into my mind. A beer. I'm sorry. A beer. Like Brienne just kind of crossed my consciousness, I guess. Hello, Brienne, wherever you are.
In the universe.
That a beer brought up. You can like explore deeper, and it's okay if you're in a space maybe where you don't know, or you're where you want to deepen into this space to find out what really is the thing that you feel good about and you feel like you would like to do for the rest of eternity. Yep.
Good.
This is a great thinking point for the viewers as well, to deepen,
to think about and marinate in it.
Yeah, I think Liane wanted to say something, so just gonna.
Yeah, when I felt into this, what I want to do for eternity, sometimes you can really love something, but there's also a block that maybe you feel like you don't want to do it for eternity, and then you can just feel into that block, and then you can feel, oh yeah, I want to go deeper in that. And yeah, sometimes it's just like you have to believe there's something not so fun about it, and which is not true. So that's just a little hint.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I personally, have experienced this where it was like a process for me to have this awareness about video games and what's the greater purpose. And, I did have a lot of healing to do. And there was a time when I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, this sounds, silly, or I was feeling that I couldn't do it, or I was feeling that I wasn't worthy to do it, or I was feeling that I had like a lot of kind of blocks that would stop me from really claiming that eternal dream that I had. So this is a great point that Lilian is bringing up here. So thank you, Lilian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with all of this, we're realizing more and more that that it's, as you spoke earlier, is just a change. And if we are to look at the bigger picture, we can really allow ourselves to live life much better, and we are able to actually enjoy life and cultivate what we want more for eternity rather than just for one moment, for one night.
Mm-hmm. Also, Beer just hopped in. So hello, Beer. Thank you for joining. Happy to see you here. And she has a comment for us. And she's saying, what helped me get clear was also when I read the book, Laws of the Spirit World. And in that book, they mentioned that you can volunteer to work as a guide to people on earth and bring them healing so they can come closer to God. And I remember I felt like, wow, that's a really cool job to have after life on earth. Yeah, it's really nice. Like helping people has always been something that, I've also been really drawn to, and I love to help people as well. It sounds
yeah. And since Sabir brought up the Laws of the Spirit World, I went through the whole book. I went through the audio book. I like to listen to the books, but what I really love when it comes to the subject of that, and just how Laws of the Spirit World presented, is that what you said, with helping others. Yeah, you can be in two ways. Either, is help from the spirit realm or from earth. But, he's said in there that by you on earth, helping another, even a little bit, it's really helping you grow vibration and gain positive karma, so to say. And it's kind of you would think that, okay, just helping a little bit can help so much, can give so much. But what we are doing here in this community with Ascension Coaching and the coaches, that help people, help a person tremendously change their life and really go to a better place with themselves. So that means that it's a tremendous, help in our growth as well by helping. And it's such a beautiful system that's created here to really help everybody else and not just one person, not just the coach, or not just the client, or the student, or however you want to say it.
Yeah. So. I think what you're also trying to say here is that you kind of have Kabir mentioned in the sermon that Jeff and Shania mentioned Coco Chanel in the reincarnation sermon, and how Coco Chanel was doing kind of her life purpose, and after she transcended into the Astara realm, she was doing the same thing there. So then you can start kind of living that purpose and doing that thing that you feel called to right now on earth, and you can cultivate that life right now. You don't have to wait for it.
Yeah.
I think it was Karl Lagerfeld as well that died here on earth and really was successful here, really was perfect at focusing on aesthetics, right? And then he transcended the realm here, and he got hired by Coco Chanel, right? That's a good promotion. It's a good deal.
I mean, yeah, it's I guess ultimately what's here, it's about us to see the purpose of how we're doing things, because that may be a bit different than what they did, because ultimately this community wants to create heaven on earth. So we're not really planning on live, get out of the planet or get out of here. It's bring everything here. And I'm not sure how that will look. And but from the looks of it, we're not really planning on getting out of our physical bodies.
Mhm.
It's more like getting into perfect union with them. And you know, like even art or how things will look like will be more on here. But of course, we're going to see when we get there. But the meaning of what I'm saying is like, even though we have these examples and we see how others go about to transcend outside, we do choose to kind of bring everything here. And this is, I feel like, a key component about it, you know, like even through that, choosing to come back and not just to leave the earth, even if you learn stuff, to choose to remain here, present on earth, to help others from here, not from outside, because you can choose whatever you want.
Yeah, it's the mission that, you know, us as unionists have to really bring heaven on earth, you know, and for that, of course, that we wouldn't we wouldn't like transcend and just remain in the astral realm unless there would be like a clear, I don't know, reason for it. But for us, it would be like a lot of down to earth and work that we would have to like put in really bringing that dream to life. And each and every one of us, you know, has a part in that, and we can choose to just do our own part. You know, we have so many dreams of making a physical location for the Church of Union and having retreats there and growing our own food in a way that is aligned with God and with the earth, and, you know, really experience that, you know, heavenly vibe, but on earth. And for that, it's all of us that, you know, would have to come together to put it into practice and to see it come to be.
Yeah, but you know, like here, I feel like it's important to mention, it's not, I wouldn't say like to look at it as like, if you want to be part of this movement, don't look at this as to have a life after earth. It's more like have a life here on earth, to really be connected with this.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I know, but I'm just bringing another perspective. Good.
Yeah, and Abir kind of just comments on this. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right, Lawrence. I remember Jeff and Shania mentioning about Madhavatar Babaji, who lives here and has been since many centuries. Yeah, yeah, and it's really important to you know, be grateful and also be this kind of pillars for heaven on earth as well. And this is what we're being asked to kind of step into with choosing eternity and loving not only ourselves and our loving our brothers and sisters and loving earth ultimately, to make it be I think like the cool place that we know earth can be. You know, it can be that if we all kind of love it fully and completely. And our earth also is I guess like reflection of us and our own healing. So work. Yeah.
Babaji happens to hang on my wall. Yeah, great yogi. And he's in perfect union with his body and twin flame. And he has been here for, I believe, 5,000 years, right, in the physical. And I'm not sure what is ahead for us, but maybe similar things. But there's a lot ahead, a lot of good stuff ahead, a lot of blocks to clear for us, and ultimately letting go of everything that is not serving us so we can experience and relax into heaven on earth.
Yeah, I think it would be really awesome. And I think this is something that everybody has thought about, you know, at some point in their life, you know, maybe even if it was just like a superpower, you know, how it would be to not grow old or you live forever and have eternal youth. Well, all of this can be achieved, in cultivating this deeper relationship with God, with your body, with everything. We all can achieve that level, and it's for all of us to achieve and to cultivate. We're all meant to kind of return back to God, and this is how it looks like. It would be a life without, physical pain. It would be a life without separation from our good. It would be a life in perfect union with our twin flames and God, and that would be it's a wonderful life to live. I bet, and we're all heading in that direction. And this is ultimately part of, I feel, choosing to have an eternal life and letting go of that. And for me, what I feel called to go deeper is to just, let go of excuses or limitation that maybe I can see in my mind or I have, and just embrace this dream and desire deeper and really work for it as God is calling me to do.
Yeah, for me, it's also choosing to ascend on Earth, because I've been feeling into it, and sometimes I feel like, oh, I want to go to astral, all these stuff, and it's really just finding God and all these things Earth has to offer, and finding all that love here, and that brings you also this deeper desire to be here and to stay here. And I found that is for me very helpful. And also all these things that I wanted from the astral realm, I can bring just here, so everything is possible.
Yeah, it just requires healing. I guess this is the ultimate thing. It requires more effort to do it this way, to just remain on Earth, but it does create a space here that others can enjoy as well. So it's kind of like, coming back to the books Love of the Spiritual, it says that the growth in the astral realm, it's slow. It's certain, but it's slow. But the growth here on Earth, it's not certain, but it's fast. It can be very fast. But it's kind of like you can go up and you can go down depending on what you choose. So it's kind of involves a risk, but it involves you going at a much faster speed than you would be in the astral realm. Because in the astral realm, you just go at a consistent pace, slow,
Up. And up in vibration.
Yeah, up in vibration, but slow. And you cannot really go fast in vibration there. That's the thing about why people choose, or why souls choose to come here, so they could make that shift, so they could really change in a faster way, because they want to be with God as soon as they can, let's say.
And this is, why I think it's really good to see what the purpose of our lives on Earth is, and fulfill that to the best of our abilities, and fulfill what we have come on Earth to do.
Yeah, and it's not a problem whichever path one chooses to take, either to go at a consistent pace or take a risk and just go faster or go the other way. It's to be respected, each choice, and just to have acceptance towards everybody and their choice of approaching life, let's say, or approaching their ascension.
Yeah, what is coming up for me is to make use of the time here on Earth. And there was this quote by Paramahansa Yogananda, if death would liberate us, we could jump into the waves at once and be free. Doesn't work, right? We have to release all the blocks by doing the inner work. And the mirror exercise is a really good tool to do that and experience that heaven on earth more and more. And this is a much faster way than astral ascension or any other spiritual tradition, really. So yay, unionist.
I think this also is really connected to the awareness that we create our own reality. So therefore, it's that vibration that we emit to the universe is something that we are constantly attracting, and death or anything else cannot really do anything for us to relieve us of the vibration that we're holding on to. Of course, we know that in divine truth, we are divine children of God and we are perfect and pure and innocent, and that's the truth. But if we have a separation consciousness that makes us believe otherwise, then that's the experience that we will keep attracting, even if we choose to, let's say, die and reincarnate. If we don't fully learn the lesson, then we will keep manifesting the same thing in the astral realm or in another life if we choose to reincarnate. So therefore, it's best we move through our lessons right now because they're right in front of us, and it's the most compassionate thing to do for oneself is to love yourself right now and not postpone loving yourself thinking that somebody else would do it for you, or there would be this event where everything will be forgiven and washed away. Like, I think in the eyes of God, we're sinless in the eyes of God. We're always forgiven, we're always perfect, and that's how he sees us, right? And it's only us that create a guilt or shame or heaviness that keeps us down in lower vibration, so to say.
But there is something that you told me from a class recently. I think actually yesterday you told me this because I forgot about it. But like in a class from Twin Flame Ascension School, I think you said, Jeff said this about, well, God loves us, but does God like you? And even though God may love you, he may like you or not like you, depending on how you choose to interact with life. If you choose to really like live and be alive and go towards him, of course he would like you. But if you're doing the contrary and choose to go away from him, I guess that's where it comes the not necessarily liking. It's not that it's not going to be love, it's still going to be love and forgiveness and everything. It's just not so much of liking. I wouldn't really like you that much. And I know at the beginning, like with this concept, I was a bit like, how can that happen? But you can see that very clearly in the lives of those who choose to really come closer to God, and you can see more and more stuff happening and more synchronicities happening in the life, like happy ones. And you can see the opposite to people who are choosing to go away from God, how more and more not so nice things happen. It's not like God will punish you or anything. That's not what I'm saying, but it's just seeing the favor in a way of God.
Yeah, the God's favor. Yeah, it's something different to have God's favor. Yeah, and you do have to kind of honestly love God in order to arrive in that space. And you love God by really doing that thing that you feel called to do eternally, right? That's the thing that God created you to do. It feels good for you, it feels good for God, so might as well do it. Yeah, moving through those blocks or resistance about what keeps you from doing that and like really acting in that space from a place of love. Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm reminded of that. I just had an image of God just inviting to play or like do something together. And then you say no if you don't follow that feeling, and just like going with God's invitation and just not sit in a corner and which is useless anyway. Because you come back to it anyway. So
So what do I do if my pet dies? It's something that I have on my mind, you know. I love my pets so much. They bring so much joy into my life, but I usually have a longer life expectancy. So I am going to experience the death of my pets. So what do I do? Well, you can call them back in, right? They have a soul as well. They are eternal as well. And if they happen to be your soul pet, they are connected to you anyway. And you can ask them to come back. Hey, soul of my pet, we had a good time. I gave you good food and pets. So let's spend another life cycle together. And then maybe if the soul agrees, then there'll be a circumstance happening of this pet reincarnating and you receiving it. So even your pets, you know, they are also eternal. Everything, right? Except separation.
Well, I feel like we got to a place of, I don't know, maybe completion. And I don't know if you guys feel the same or if you have any more to bring to this conversation. But we have a comment actually.
Mhm. Yeah, Abir was just saying that Dani Casido, which is a unionist and a student of Teachings of Union, you can also see her in Twin Flame Ascension School. Abir was saying that she actually did that with her pet, and she shared quite openly about her process of, bringing her pet back, her pet dog. It's really nice to see that. And I think like multiple people in our community are exploring this eternal pet relationship and bringing back pets either from their childhood, either pets that they have now, and as you said, like died, and they can come back again. Like there's a lot of kind of proof starting to accumulate on this in this area that you are actually calling in the same pet back. Is not just like a random soul or a random other pet that is similar. It is the same pet with the same personality, the same quirks, they are the same soul, basically. Yeah. Of course, you go about it in a way that makes biological sense as well. So, yeah. Okay. But yeah, I do feel complete as well.
Do you guys have anything else to share? So you feel complete as well?
Yeah. Well, that was a great after church tea time. Thank you everybody for joining us and for discussing this beautiful sermon by Abir and this beautiful topic. I think we went really deep with it and discussed a lot of topics. So with that, we will let you enjoy your Sunday, meditate, think about what we have discussed, what Abir shared in the sermon, and we will see each other next time. Bye bye.